think I understand why Jim Boeheim got in the Hall of Fame a lot earlier than I did. He's a lot smarter than I am. I think we needed a game where we could get out and run and make shots, and confidence is important, and we made some shots. But we went into the game saying we're not going to turn the ball over. We're going to do a better job not taking as many threes. We're going to do a better job of moving the basketball. We're going to do a better job on our fast break. There's not many times in my era here that I put 80% of the emphasis on our offensive side of the ball. And then I said we're going to offensive rebound better. Well, we took more threes than we've taken all year, but they were within, other than the first five, they were within confines of the offense or the break. They were more inside-out passes. I thought the first five we took were awful. They were open, but they weren't inside out. And once we started doing that, Miles started hitting some guys. When you get three guys with 11, 7, and 6 assists, it's phenomenal. I thought Nick Ward played a lot better. 8 must be his number, with 8 for 8 and 8 rebounds and 18 points in 18 minutes. I'd fly to Vegas if I was him tonight. But I just felt, in general, we shot better. Second half, we didn't play as good. Miles kind of took a little time off in my mind. And I told him, that's kind of what he's got to get better. But that first half performance was as good as any I've seen here in a long time for a half. It was kind of like Denzel's in Chicago last year when Miles did it for a half and just did some phenomenal things. So it was a step in the right direction. Nobody's looking at this as, we beat a team that we should beat. I think we, after not scoring many points in the first 7, 8 minutes, to score 100, we had an incredible last 32 or 3 minutes. And the game is going to get much tougher on Sunday night with Dunk City coming in here, and very well-coached team and a very good team. So that's where we are, and I'll open up for questions.
Tom, can you reflect a little bit more on Miles? What play or moment stood out the most to you where you were just, wow?
Well, the right-hand jump hook, the dunk, the couple of passes he made I thought were phenomenal. I didn't think he forced anything. That's the efficiency he's got to have, 14 shots, and to be that efficient. I thought he let the game come to him, and I thought the second half he almost let it come too much. But it's really fun to coach a guy who's as unselfish and got more excited, jumped higher on a couple of his assists than he did on a couple of his baskets. Other than the dunk, I think he likes that.
Tom, I was talking to Irvin about Miles, and he mentioned the fact that switching hands in the air, getting mad that he didn't get a loose ball, and he just really talked more as a fan than anything else. And I asked him about if he could be the best player since Magic, and he said, I think he's a better athlete for sure. To have a Magic back to coach Miles in the locker room tonight, what do those things mean to him?
Oh, that was fun, we were giving a pregame talk, and Irvin walked in, and we don't like Irvin around here. We love him. He's done so much for me, but he still has the same passion for the program and the players in it. He still keeps up on them the same way. He knew every play against Arizona. He knew every play against Kentucky. And, he did come in and speak a little bit, and I think the young guys really appreciated it, not as much as I did. He didn't have to do those things. He doesn't have to get there early. He doesn't have to go through the things he goes through. And I'm sure he'll come by practice. He's going to be here a couple days, and he'll be good to talk to some of those guys. But Miles, is a great player. He just got to keep working. I say that not with tongue in cheek either. I say that because when he drifted off, he became more of a normal human being the second half. I like him abnormal, personally. And that's what I told him at the end, we just got to keep that fire. But he was never lazy. He just, maybe the competitiveness to want to win games is there. But the competitiveness to want to score, rebound, make assists, be aggressive, I thought dropped off a little bit in the second half. But maybe I'm asking too much, because that 8-minute stretch was remarkable, to say the least.
with Matt and Aaron, especially those were the two guys you wanted to get going tonight, and it seemed like they got him, and especially McQuaid, it seemed like he got a little bit of a rhythm going with his shot and catching and shooting like you wanted.
Well, because we ran better, we didn't run very well, and it wasn't, when you look at shooting like that, you can say, well, you're playing, Mississippi Valley instead of Kentucky. We had some of the same shots. Some of you guys were there, and it's about having the confidence to make them. Well, you get confidence to make them when you hit a few, and that's the problem I said we had with our schedule this year. Those young guys, they're not going to get a breather. Everybody's coming at them, so your confidence does get rattled. And I think tonight, after the first 5 minutes, we put a lot of pressure on our guys to, we're going to get the ball inside, we're going to get it out. I thought we did a much better job. We still took too many threes, but as I said, all but 4 or 5 of them were within what we wanted to do. And we offensive rebounded pretty well, only got 12, but 12, there weren't that many misses when you shoot 66%. Still a little shaky from the line and didn't get there as much, but I think that was more the way the game went than it was maybe what we weren't doing.
Coach, this is similar to an offensive output you had last year come January in Big Ten play, where you had 16 threes made and 17 threes made. Those were the highest for last year. This year, this is the highest you've made, obviously by far. Are you looking to use this as, depending on the matchup, to use the three-point offense as much, or is this one game kind of output?
I'm not looking. I'd rather get those threes down to 20 instead of 20. We're probably averaging 26 a game now. And so I'm not looking for that at all. I'm really looking to get the ball to Miles inside a little bit more. But they went zone and they packed it in, and we had to do what we had to do. But if we can get them off the break, if we can get them inside out, I guess I don't care how many we shoot. But if we're just getting them with the ball rotating around the perimeter, I do care how many we shoot. I don't want us hunting threes. I don't think we did hunt threes. To get 28, and I don't think there were many hunted. And I thought we missed some good ones early, but it just bothered me because I said we were going inside and get it back out. We didn't do that, so called a couple timeouts and straightened it out.
Tom, you talked about the free throw shooting. Where's your level of concern for 3 games now? You guys, I think you finally cracked double digits at shooting free throws.
Well, this one doesn't concern me as much. The other 2 really did. The only reason I say that, they played zone maybe 2/3, 3/4 of that game, and they gave us outside shots, so there just wasn't as much. But we're still not getting it in, getting it out as much. As good as Nick played, when it goes in there, he's got to get it out. We got to get it into Miles a little bit more. And Kenny was non-existent tonight, and I don't know why. He just did not seem with it, which is really odd because usually he's about as steady as any guy I've got. But tonight wasn't that night, and so we didn't do quite as good a job in those areas. But I'm not concerned considering the game and how it went. I have been concerned about turnovers and free throws in general, and still too many threes. So we'll still look at that and try to figure out how we can improve it. Team is improving, meaning Nick's getting better. Josh is still, as you can see, he's dragging that leg. That's a problem right now. But we're playing a little bit with Tom and Cassius both in there, and I think they're going to see a little bit more of that too at times.
And Coach, you played the 4 right back here. You played the 4 freshmen pretty briefly there in the first half. What did you see out of that group, and do you think you're going to be using them together more?
Oh yeah, I do. I think they could be playing a lot more together. We just gotta. We need a full Josh because he's the best defender in that group by far. And Miles is a pretty good defender, and we got a couple guys that aren't as good defenders, although making some improvements. But without Josh being full go right now, makes it a little more difficult. But I think you'll see those 4 freshmen in there more than a little, yes.
You called those 2 timeouts there in the second half, and it seems like not necessarily atypical, but with the big lead like that, I guess kind of how do you use those?
Well, I think I'm going to have to, this will be a stupid statement, I guess, but coach a lot harder every play. We're just not smooth yet, and why would we be? So many new bodies in there. not just the freshmen, so many people in the different position they were in before. We're really, you know, if there's one thing I'd like my point guards to do more is they got to get after it a little more. If guys are in the wrong position. And a couple times that didn't happen. A couple times we had come out and said how we were going to guard somebody, and we didn't guard it. And I just decided I'm not going to let that go now. So we unfortunately subbed a little bit more than I wanted to as far as in and out, in and out, in and out. Took some timeouts, but in a game like this, for me, the bad habits got to change. And, you know, if you looked at the game film of those two games we lost, I mean, one of them, you know, I'm going to be upset about all year. I just didn't, you know, I think we should have won it. That's my opinion. The other one, you know, it should have never been the game that it was. And players know that, and coaches know that. But it's my job. It's my fault. I'm the one that got to hold them accountable, and I'm going to hold them accountable if I got to use all my timeouts in a half. That's just the way this year is going to be. There's going to be a lot more. If we're way ahead, if we were down 20, there might be some timeouts like that. We're going to have to keep improving every day. I told my staff, you better plan on coaching every second of every day. It's going to be like putting cologne on in the morning, you know, every day. Take your vitamins every day, every day, every day, and that's what we're going to do.
Tom, obviously hamstrings can be a fickle thing. Is that something you worry about in terms of letting them play through it? Or?
You know, I wasn't worried about it, but I'm getting concerned about it because we gave him a lot of time off for a normal hamstring. But you are right; it could be a fickle thing. And I mean, was it just me, or can anybody else see him dragging that thing? You could, yeah, dragging it. You guys should have been coaches or trainers. I'd rather you that than reporters, I'll tell you that right now. But, yeah, I'm going to do, you know, we're going to do some checking tonight. And because when he's at full go, like he was for a few of those practices, he's a very effective, great defender, a good rebounder, and can run the lane. And he can make some good passes. He got sloppy tonight. You know, he just seems like he's not, you know, he's not there yet. I mean, there's no question about it. And, you know, so that's what the medical people are going to have to decide, along with Josh, along with me.
The Aaron Harris, there was a three, swung the ball around. He hits a three in the corner. You really pumped your fist. For him, the confidence, seeing him get it a little bit tonight, how important was that?
Well, believe it or not, the pump of the fist was for Aaron, half, and for the fact that we actually moved the ball from one side to the other, because you guys that were at our first two games never saw that. And that really was yesterday's practice. It was hammered. Today's shoot-around, it was hammered. We got to do a better job of that. And there's going to be a lot of slippage because there's a lot of bad habits on that. We got a lot of guys standing around, especially the young guys. You know, they're used to having the ball in their hands all the time. And we got to keep that thing moving. So we took a step in the right direction. We did not conquer Rome or anything, but we took a step in the right direction tonight.
Tom, you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but given the start to the season and given what you have coming up next week, how important was this just as a confidence game, especially for some of your young
Yeah, I think
guys?
it was important. I told my players, you know, what you got to do is, I said, this is a life lesson, not just a basketball lesson. You know, you're going to get punched. You're going to get knocked down a lot of times in your life. And, you know, how you respond to that. How do you respond to getting embarrassed? And I don't mean getting embarrassed because Kentucky was a better team than us, but we did not play Spartan basketball. And that's embarrassing to the program. And maybe that's why Miles played so good. I knew Marquise and Antonio were coming tonight. They called, and, you know, Draymond and Mateen called. But I told, and then when Magic showed up, I just, you know, looked at Miles and said, I can be mad at you and it's no big deal. But if you embarrass the Flintstones, those guys fight you. And so I don't know if that's why he played better, but I might use that hammer a little bit more.
Coach, how did you feel about the team's ability to move the ball, 33 assists on 39 baskets, especially Cassius with 11 assists?
Thanks for reminding me. I can't believe I didn't bring that up. 33 assists is a lot of assists, but on 39 baskets is even more incredible. And we do deserve some credit for that. And I thought Cassius with 11, Miles gets his first double-double. You know, those are all good things. And, you know, I don't think anybody should get enamored over who we beat. We're supposed to beat them. But you still got to make shots. And as we learned, we had open shots against the other two teams we didn't make. So I think confidence, as you said, getting in the flow of things, getting their fast break going a little more. I'm encouraged by the step we took. We're a long way from a team that's going to have to be real good, you know, in the next 3-4 weeks and moving forward. We got a long way to go yet, but I think the players know it too, you know, and I could tell by the way they practiced yesterday, and that was real encouraging.
Tom, no matter who you're playing, effort should never go down. And when Nick Ward went on the floor, you smiled and then proceeded to yell at Miles. But for you, what did it mean for you to see Nick go down like that, and the fact you've been all over him, but the kid continues to give the effort?
You know, I said of all of our players right now, Nick Ward has made the most progress. If you look at weight, if you look at where he was at the start, if you look at what he's improved on, if you look at how he runs the court, Nick has made some incredible strides. Now, you know, Nick makes me sleep with one eye open once in a while because he still does some things that, I don't mean off the court either, I mean on the court that, you know, not in the right spot or this or that. But the progress he's making has been incredible, and really proud of where he is. And I'll say that to the media, and then I'll tell him something different. But I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll make some progress here. It's going to be a different game on Sunday night, and with only another one-day prep, we're kind of challenging ourselves on how it'll be in the, you know, the tournament next weekend where you play 3 games in 3 days, and hopefully, you know, making guys understand that at tournament time, you got to, you know, tomorrow at 9 o'clock we'll be back at it, and you know, we'll try to get 2 in tomorrow and walkthroughs and film sessions, and hopefully we'll be prepared. Thanks.
He got it.